So, John, I never heard anything like this before. Do you think somebody stole the money?
Well, maybe legally. I mean, look, to me, you remember the movie Mad Max when everybody's just doing whatever they wanted into the world? That's what happened here. All of a sudden, everybody's got the keys to the candy store. Ad buyers, talent, consultants. There's 100 days to do it. And the money started pouring in. Remember this, Chris. It wasn't pouring in for Harris. It was pouring in against Trump. Everybody that was voting and supporting Harris was really voting against Trump. And everybody that was voting for Trump was voting for Trump. So she had all this money coming in. She had all these consultants. And if you don't run the ads, you don't get paid for the buy. They were running ads in Florida, where I live, nonstop. And I'm like, why? I mean, are they running them in Alabama and Idaho too? And I'll tell you why. If you don't run the ads, the buyer doesn't get paid. A $900,000 to put her face on the Sphere in Las Vegas. In the Sphere, the ego, the crazy, the commissions. I was at the White House for a dinner Friday night, talking to a lot of people. And I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of whispering. There's a lot of names about who got paid this, who got paid that. And a lot of people got rich on the back of donors trying to stop Trump. And I think this disqualifies her forever. If you can't run a campaign, you can't run America. And that would be the argument just day one. So it was terrible. I think she did a good job in the debate. I think she did as good a job as she could hope for in a short period of time. I told everybody, she should not have been the nominee. She was not going to win, and she didn't win, and she lost badly. So she's got to go figure out her life. She's in Hawaii. Tim Walz was at the dinner. She was in Hawaii. So she's having a call with donors this week. They tell me about her political future. I don't think she has a political future. So that's my thought on her.
How bad is this for the party going forward?
It's terrible because when you don't trust, it's like Andrew Gillum down here in Florida. He lost by just a little bit. Mm-hmm. But the money was, to DeSantis, just a little bit. But the money was so squandered and kept that, and he was going to take all that money he kept and rebuild the party. The Republicans got 1 million more voters now. What happened in Florida is with Gillum is the same thing is going to follow Harris for the rest of her career. She cannot be trusted with the money. And the party and the donors are going to be like, where is this money?
None of them can be trusted with the money. And one of the recipients that was a huge recipient of the money that she was sending out was Al Sharpton. And now he may be up for firing from MSNBC. He received over $500,000. And again, as I mentioned, may be in trouble with NBC over it. MSNBC is claiming they were unaware that Kamala Harris's campaign paid Al Sharpton's nonprofit $500,000 shortly before Harris sat for a softball interview, which all of them were softball interviews with the cable host. A network spokesman told the Washington Free Beacon. He wouldn't say, though, whether the left-wing network is taking any action against Sharpton for a move that appears to violate the network policy. Nicole, do you think he should be fired from MSNBC?
Absolutely. Listen, I hope if I could have an early Christmas wish that Elon buys MSNBC. I really do. I think he would allow, people of every kind of political belief to come as long as you are willing to focus in on the truth. This is the problem when they stopped being news and became opinion. They didn't tell their audience, we're no longer news, we're just opinion. So you have, and I hate to roll people under the bus, but like middle-aged Black women who watch Joy Reid like she's a second coming of Christ, right? They get up in the morning, it's the first thing they do, they're listening, all of those things, and they're internalizing all of that hate. And there's nowhere else to put it. right? So you get out into the world and you're lashing out at people, and people are like, well, what the hell? What's wrong with you? You've had too much Joy Reid. Too much Joy Reid is a horrible thing. MSNBC should clean house, get rid of them all, and build it up from the bottom.
Absolutely. Shelley, what are your thoughts? Should Al Sharpton be fired based off of his contributions?
Yeah, especially if he didn't bring it up or notify them, whatever. I don't know what the deal was. But of course, look, I said, lottie-dottie, everybody got paid. You got Oprah, you got Al, you got the entertainers, you got some of these other people. Where's the money? That's where it went. This was nothing but a $1 billion, if you will, $1 billion festival. That's what it is, nonstop. According to The Hill, it was about what, $15 million for event production. Are you serious? $4 million in private jets, not to mention the one, and it's possibly $2 million, I'm sorry, that Oprah received. Now, of course, she said she didn't receive it. Her company did. Oh, yeah, okay, whatever. Give it, whatever, Oprah. But this was nothing but a festival, a nonstop festival from the J-Lo's and the Beyoncé's and Meg Thee Stallions, all of these people. This was an utter failure. And what do you have to show for it? You got a drunkie saying she's coming back. Bring it on.
You know what else they have? The DNC staffers are in a union, which is, crazy in and of itself. But the people who work for the Democrat National Convention or committee rather, actually work there. It's their job to come up with talking points and signs and all that kind of foolishness. They have a union. And 2/3 of them have been laid off.
Wow.
And they're unhappy. So they actually have a GoFundMe. So for all of our people who are watching and listening, go ahead and give us a thumbs up if you wouldn't give this GoFundMe a nickel, not a penny, not one thin dime for these people. I don't feel sorry for them. It happens every political cycle. Everybody ramps up. You hire more staff, knowing at the end of the cycle, win, lose, or draw, the staff numbers are going to come back down to normal. But they unionized. And this union is now saying, we had a collective bargaining agreement and you wouldn't do this. And, I'm waiting for there to be a lawsuit. Dim on dim violence is a beautiful thing. Yeah. It would just be so wonderful. It'd be like eating chocolate in bed. That would be so good. I would love everyone.
I want to ask Yana, so we've said this over and over again on this show that these Democrats are really communists, undercover communists. Is this what happens in communist countries where you see that stuff like this?
You took the words out of my mouth right now. I was about to say that communists, socialists, they like to call themselves socialists, but it's the same thing basically. They always talk about redistribution of wealth. So these people, socialists, they're always out of money. It's a common thing in every socialist society. So, and their party is like is an example, is a model of socialism right now. And so she in her drunken rant, she said they raised 1.4 billion, or what was it? Right. And they spent 1.5. So what are you proud of? You're telling us that you can't manage money. So how are you going to manage? How are you going to manage the country?
Exactly.
It's good work. It's good work.
The good work continues. It continues. This is what makes me crazy. It's like I have a problem that I don't know how to fix. Money falls through my hands. $1 billion fell through my hands. And I don't really understand policy. And I don't listen to the people who do try to explain it to me. In fact, I get irritated with them and fire them when they talk down to me. So I surround myself with small children who are just happy to be basking in the glow of my Kamala-ness. And oh, by the way, I think I want to be governor of California. No, wait. I might want to be president of the United States again. Oh, wait. I might just want to, be on the news somewhere. Girl, sit down. Sit down. Relax. Take a couple years off. You deserve it.
She needs to. Yeah, you're exactly right. And part of what MSNBC is saying that they had no idea that Al Sharpton received these contributions. And so apparently they had an actual rule at MSNBC, where in the past hosts have been reprimanded over similar violations. Phil Griffin suspended host Joe Scarborough back in 2010, I guess when he was actually conservative, for sending a contribution to Representative Matt Gaetz. And then Keith Olbermann that same year was also reprimanded for donations made to Democratic campaigns. So back then, the rule was it is critical that they said it was critical that we enforce our standards and policies. So the policy was anyone working for NBC News who takes part in civic or other outside activities may find that these activities jeopardize his or her standing as an impartial journalist because they may create the appearance of a conflict of interest.
Absolutely.
It continued, such activities may include participation in or contributions to political campaigns or groups that espouse controversial positions. You should report any such potential conflicts in advance and obtain prior approval of this from NBC president. So, this was their statement back then, and nothing has changed as far as we know. So this was against he needs to be fired.
This is not out of the norm. That ethical policy is not out of the norm. Many organizations have this. Even guess what? They have ethical statements like this, similar in Congress. So a lot of professional organizations have these ethical policies. This is not abnormal when it has the appearance. And that doesn't have to be any impropriety, just the appearance of it. This is why some journalists, I know Megyn Kelly has said it several times, this is why she's never, for a long time, she didn't even sign up as a Democrat or Republican. She was independent. Some journalists don't even give donations to different parties because they want to keep their journalism, if you will, the appearance of no impropriety. So this is nothing out of the norm. Even MSNBC, to their credit, this is not world out of the world.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And the Society of Professional Journalists told that exact thing to the Free Beacon. This is standard practice as far as credibility of journalists and news organizations. So you're exactly right.